Hey everybody, welcome back with another Shiny Developer Series live stream. My name is Eric and I have had a heck of a day. This is one of those times where I kind of like to do a little bit of refreshing my memory of what I want to show, but I literally had to jump in this at the last minute with a lot of crazy stuff happening. But I want to continue with the Shiny Calendar project and try out some cool tricks, maybe with some API interactions and maybe some automation of grabbing that content to make the app a little more streamlined and be able to serve that data in other places besides the app. This is all potentially, of course, I'm just kind of winging it a little bit. So let's see if my bits are working here. Say hello to the chat and Waylon Walker, thanks for coming by. How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. We may have some others trickle in as we go, but we'll have hopefully some fun tonight. Learn some new stuff, but this is definitely to take a page out of Tan's book. I'm gonna be doing a lot of trying of things. Oh, thank you, Send Bite Off Sec for the follow. Much appreciated. So we're gonna try learning some cool stuff and hopefully it works and just go from there. So let's get the VS Code up here. So one of the approaches I've been taking lately, you may have heard me mention this in other streams, is I like to use R Markdown to kind of explore the data I'll be using and kind of the processing, the wrangling, the munging of that. And I started this R Markdown document, I think after my last time talking about the calendar project. Is that 3 weeks ago now? It seems like it's been a while. And I've kind of had a change of heart of how I want to grab the streamers' schedule information, where up to this point I have a separate server that's hosting a calendar in the iCal format, but it takes somebody to manually enter those entries for the streamers out there. And that's been me primarily, but at least from the data science side of things, with the exception of a couple prominent R community members, most of the ones I've been following are streaming on Twitch, and Twitch does have an API for grabbing calendar and streaming information, and Tan was the first one to kind of clue me in on that, and I'm gonna explore that a bit here and see if I can plug that in to the app itself instead of doing the custom backend server that I've been working with lately. So let's start running some code chunks in the vignette, and certainly feel free to ask about how all this works. I'm always happy to help explore this with all of you, and I'm probably gonna have a couple rants here in this stream about some of the things I've had to deal with at work lately in terms of kind of the struggles, or the, you might say, growing opportunities of developing large-scale Shiny apps in a big corporate environment with working with others on it as well. Let's start running some chunks here at the basic one. What's up, Nick? How are you doing? Hope you're doing well. I don't know if you're still streaming now or not, but welcome. And let's load our packages. And you'll notice this first package is called twitchr. And I want to give a big shout out. I don't think he's here on the stream. but I want to show you real quick the package. Oops, that's the wrong button. Try that. Okay. Coder Cow, who does his own streams with the Eat Game Love account on Twitter, on Twitch, sorry. He made this package called twitchr, which is basically an R wrapper for the Twitch API. And this has some bits I want to use. Now, there's one thing it doesn't have at this time, which I'm going to show you some custom code of in a little bit for the scheduled stuff. But for the rest of the bits, we're going to explore using this package to grab some other metadata about the streamers that we want to put on this calendar. And we'll go from there. So I'll go back to this in a little bit, but let me get back to VS Code here. Excuse me. So Span Data has a good question. Things you what are the things I like more about VS Code versus RStudio? So there are some similarities, but there are some differences. Now, I think for me, what I'm kind of liking in VS Code at the moment is it's pretty fast. Once you get everything set up, it's kind of blazing fast. Oh, yeah, that's right. You were having a bit of a struggle the other on Slice. Yeah, I remember that, Nick. Sorry. Hope you feel better, man. I'm actually still not 100% either. Whatever nasty off thing I caught like a few weeks ago, it's still not quite out yet. So I'll probably have some odd moments too. So hope you feel better, dude. Tan, welcome. Yeah, I'm glad you could come by. We're getting back into shinycal this time. So we're going to explore using the twitchr package for some streaming stuff, and then we're going to do some custom stuff for the schedule API stuff, and then try to plug that into the app, the Shiny app proper, as a way to get the updated information. So, oh yeah, back to, I kind of dodged a question a little bit earlier, sorry, about the VS Code versus RStudio. I like the speed of it. And I won't say everything is like feature parity between the two, but I do think that the fact that I'm usually doing R with other things under the hood, whether it's like custom things in Linux or maybe I'll interface it with other languages, I kind of like the overall ease of use of like having custom terminals for like my Linux shell, doing some, the typical Linux stuff here. And the other nice thing that is not quite as native in RStudio is this works really nicely with Docker. And what I've done is every project I do for my R open source kind of explorations is actually based in Docker containers, and I can use that now as like a template repo in my GitHub account and kind of clone that, or you start new repos from that template. And with a few, in fact, I'll even show it here to illustrate, but in my .dev container folder, I've got, let's see, launch.json is, oh, that's not the one I want. What's it called? Dev container.json. This is kind of like the manifest that I use for setting up the VS Code settings, but it's going to build the environment via a Docker file. And so what I can do is I can control the version of R, I can control the packages that are there by default, I can control the shell that I use for R, and I'm using the Radiant shell, which is a pretty cool kind of supercharged version of the typical R console, but based in Python. The extensions from VS Code I want to use, where these don't have to be installed on my main machine. These are going to be installed in the container that VS Code is going to use, and any other customizations, and it's just really fast and performant. So with a little Docker know-how, I was able to create a custom container for R version 4.1 and do some setup on the Linux side, and they actually had an example on the VS Code GitHub repositories for doing this with the R language, but I just added my own little bits here to use some friendlier things in here, and then I can just customize this per project, and I can use it with RM very easily for package management. It just is pretty fast and it's very nimble too. And our studio still has some advantages in certain interactions, especially when it comes to our markdown stuff, but that's getting better. It's not in this release that I'm using here, but they just landed in the master branch of the VS Code R extension a way to do like the preview of the R Markdown document compiled as you're kind of playing with it in VS Code, like what I'm about to do here. So it's not in my container at the moment, but I'm going to wait for that to get upstream in like the main branch of it, and then I'll be ready to try that out. So I'll have more thoughts about that as I go, but we'll kind of look at it in this paradigm first. So let me get our console back here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to authenticate to the Twitch API. And what you don't see here is that to handle my secret key, if you will, for the API, I won't show the real one, but I'll show you the example one. I have the Twitch API client ID and secret, and I also may do some stuff with YouTube down the road, and this is my custom server that had the calendar first version of it. So I just keep a real version of this in my working directory, and then that will grab the Twitch APIs the right way. So if I run this should just... Oh, I didn't run my setup chunk first. Okay, we got that. Now we run this. Okay, so now Twitch auth just kind of sets things up for me. Let me do word wrapping here so I can see it better. So I've been trying to kind of narrate this as I go. Now we're going to experiment with getting the calendar. So this was all stuff I kind of did after the last stream just to explore, and I want to make sure it still works before I plug it into the app properly. So I know she's not here tonight, at least yet, but I'm going to try getting the calendar stuff from the Twitch API for Afton, who's of course doing awesome stuff with her streams and the sliced chaos faceted graph. That's always awesome. So let's try running this chunk and seeing if I can call the calendar API endpoint directly. And that's the Coder Cow's twitchr package doesn't have a wrapper function for this, but I may work with him on putting this in there if I can maybe sort out some bits here. So what we're going to do first is we're going to simply use HTTR. HTTR is like the package from our studio to interact with APIs in a more kind of lower level. So we're just going to do a GET request. We're going to use this endpoint for the iCalendar. And the query parameters are simply going to be the broadcaster ID, and that's coming from this function from twitchr, where we get the metadata associated with the user. So in fact, we'll just run that right now so I can show you what that looks like. And if we go here for the R stuff, we got a tibble. It's kind of a wide tibble, but I'll show you what it looks like here if you want to take a look. We just, that's my viewer here. Let me minimize this. So it's pretty big. In fact, I'll scooch this over a bit. We get their ID proper from the Twitch API, their login handle, their display name, blah, blah, their description of the stream. We even get like direct links to their profile image or their offline image. That's pretty cool. And view count and when they created their account. So Afton has been doing this for, looks like just over 2 years now. She started this in 2019. Well, that's cool. So we needed to get the ID that the Twitch API considers her account to be. So we're going to close this now and get back here. So that's what's going into this query parameter as the broadcaster ID. And then we're going to run this, and then we'll check the status code to make sure this works. It's, like I said, it's been a few weeks. Okay. if you're new to API stuff, this 200 is a good thing. That means things work. When you see stuff like 400 or whatever, that means, uh-oh, you got problems, like it can't be found or an authentication problem or stuff like that. So 200 is good here. And then we're going to grab the content of this as text. Now, why is that? You're about to find out. So let's... Now, I'm not sure what the encoding stuff is about. I'm not going to worry about it. But what X looks like is a string. In fact, maybe I just type it out here. It'll be easier. This is the iCal format. So the good news is that with the streams I've done previously, when I was doing the iCal stuff from the custom server I had put up a while back, this is the same format. So I should be able to leverage a lot of the learnings I did from the last couple go-arounds and kind of use the calendar functions that I have to kind of play with this a bit. So
thank you for the follow, Dripiliso.
So that's good to have. Oh, thank you for the follow, Jay Ripiliso. Sorry, I'm not good at pronouncing stuff. But the good news is that this isn't the only way we can get schedule information. This is good to have, and we'll grab it here just in case. But I might be able to use something even easier, and that's where we get to the schedule endpoint. So we've got the iCal endpoint and the schedule endpoint. I'm going to compare the two and see which one I want to go with. So again, this, other than the endpoint being different, the query stuff is the same for the Twitch API for this. So we're going to run this and see. This is about the same. We get a 200 again. That's good. And this time, we're going to parse the content. I believe it's coming back as JSON, so we're just going to call this res2 and explore this. It's a list, so let's kind of see what the list looks like. Okay, so we've got a data object, a list, and then a list of what something called segments. And you can kind of get the gist of it here. It looks like this is kind of like the starting and ending time for their scheduled stream, the title of it, if it was canceled, the category, whether it's recurring. And looks like we got a few entries here for, she has like 2 or 3 different types of streams. So this one is development time. This one's package dev and testing. This is game night. And then it just repeats for a bit. Now, I'm not really sure how much it repeats, but it's good to have this just in case. You can see it goes until August 29th, it looks like. And then we get to some more of her metadata about her ID, name. I have no, oh, the pagination stuff. That might come in handy later, but I'll just kind of disregard it for now. So that's actually pretty cool. That might be easier to work with than the iCal stuff. So I'm going to keep that in mind, but let's look at the other metadata first and see what I would want to grab as kind of more of an automated pull of this down the road. Now, one good suggestion that I think we had discussed with a few of you in the previous streams was, since we're doing a Shiny app with a calendar, we can take advantage of like some cool stuff when the user selects a certain streamer or selects a calendar entry that has the streamer's name in it. We could show a preview of their video. I think that would be pretty slick here. So let's experiment with the twitchr package again. Let's get the videos that are available for that particular user, and maybe we grab one of them or grab the URLs for them, and then we can use that as data down the road. So I've kind of experimented with this already, but I'll show you what it looks like. So we run this get videos function, and that looks like a list of stuff. So we can look at that again to refresh my memory as much as anything here. Kind of similar to what you saw in the schedule stuff. It's got for each of these data slots, some metadata, the title of the video, when it was created and published. This is kind of what I really want, is the URL. Because what I want to do with this is I want to use this as kind of like an iframe in the Shiny app to kind of show in some part of the interface if the user wants to preview it, just to kind of see what the streamer's about, as a cool way to do that within the same app without having to go in a new tab to Twitch and having to view it there. So that looks pretty good. We even get the duration of it, the view counts. So that's pretty neat. Oh, Tan's gonna come at us with a cool JSON trick. You bet I do. Yeah, definitely let me know and I'll give it a spin. Oh, yeah, you tweeted about some of your pivot adventures with the Scooby-Doo wrangling, right? Yeah, let's give this a shot. A nest wider. Okay, let's try this. Yeah, let's have some fun here. You can see this is my first attempt at making a data frame, but I bet your method's way easier, so let's give this a try. Okay, we'll just call this video display. All right, we're gonna look at his code here. Videos, get the data, pipe that to a tibble. And then this will be the cool stuff. So we're gonna, I'm not sure if I loaded it in the buff, but we're gonna try pivot wider. So pivot wider, for those that don't know, is a way to take a long format data frame and make it more wide with different columns inside. Oh, I mean unnest wider, sorry, yeah. Yeah, sorry, I forgot your comment. Yeah, let's try that. This is the same kind of idea, but let's see. I haven't played with unnest wider before. Let's give this a play. Oh, I need a col, right? Yeah, I need a... What would this column be? Well, let's try this first. Let's just see what data we have here. Let's give that a look here. So at 24 observations of 16 variables. Let me just get the variable types here, because we don't get that in the view here. Okay, we got character, date time. Well, actually, this might actually do it. Oh, that's 1. Oh, okay. So you just put the number 1 in there? Oh. Okay, sorry, I didn't see that. Yeah, let's try that. Give that a play. What is this? Okay, so new names. Let's view that again and see what that did. All right, let's see what we got here. Now that 1, yeah, I feel like we probably don't need that, because I think that tibble may have done it, but that's a miracle in and of itself that it worked that quick. Let's go back to the old way and see what that looks like here. But that tibble may have just saved me a whole boatload of efforts here. Video play. Yeah, in fact, the IDs there, stream ID. Sorry, let me minimize this. We've got... Gosh, this is like... It's like already there. That's like amazing how that tibble just magically did all that. I don't see any problems with it. Wow, that's another win for the tidyverse stuff, right? As Tibble is kind of very smart to do that, so I'm pretty sure we don't need this. Now, what was that weird stuff I was... Oh, I know what I was trying to do. I was trying to get the... I need to kind of see why I did it this way. Let me run this again, because I did this for a reason, but now I honestly forgot what it was. Let me compare videos DF to what we just did in videos play. I know I was trying to get number of items. Let me just see what that looked like. It's also 24 observations, but just with 1 new variable. So I think I'm going to get the same thing, but just with an additional column. Let's see what that is. I feel like that it's got basically the same information. Yeah, I feel like I did nothing different. Oh, okay, so URL. Okay, so I was doing something with the URL. Let me... Oh, right. I was parsing for the ID, wasn't I? Yeah. See, that's what happens when I go away from something for so long. Yeah, video ID. Okay, okay. Let's look at that real quick. Yeah, video ID. Okay, so the first tibble I don't think has that. Okay, okay. Yeah. Okay. In fact, now I remember why I did this. It'll come to play later. So I'm just gonna move this up to here, and then we'll just make it in one place. So let's just make it clean here. So basically, we it should be good here. Let's just try this one more time and see if this works. Okay. Close these out. Videos play should be the same as what we did below. Yep, we got the video ID. Okay. Yeah, there is a reason for that. I just remembered of it. Yep. I think because I'm going to be using a custom iframe that's offered by Twitch themselves in the Shiny app, and I need a video ID to make that happen. So maybe all this wasn't needed because this video's data I don't think was JSON. I think it was hard to tell in the viewer, but we can run it here and see. Yeah, it already was a tibble. Actually, Coder Cal already did that hard work for us. So we may, in fact, it just becomes what I did earlier. But that was, if it had been JSON, then that would have been fun to play with. That might come in handy with some of the iCal stuff. So I'm still gonna keep it here, but I'm guessing we'll do something with that later. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to get is the number of followers, which might be cool to show in the calendar. So the twitchr package is a function called get follows based on the user ID. So let's give that a shot, and then we can get the data frame from that. Let's take a look at what we have there. Okay, so this has, not sure how many rows, but okay, so the from name and the from login is basically the followers. So somewhere I'm in here, I don't know where, but I should be in there somewhere. In fact, let's have some fun with this. Let's see if my oh, I'm not in there. Oh, that's weird. Okay. Huh. Okay. Well, anyway, that should give us what we want for the followers. Oh, I know why. We capped it at 100. She has more than 100 followers, and so that's probably why. So I'd have to play with this a bit to run it repeatedly. I'm not as thinking about that right now, but I want to at some point augment this information and just the number of followers into the calendar app. So what we learned here is that when given a particular user, we can get a lot of information about them from the Twitch API. And the biggest things I want are the schedule information and the video information. And then we can plug that into the shinycal using that way. And we might not even need to do the iCalendar stuff anymore. We might be good there. But this our markdown document will come in handy as I start to add more to it. I'm not going to do the YouTube stuff right now because I can show you what I was trying to do with it. I was trying to get the schedule stuff, but it's very clunky. You can tell YouTube doesn't really do a lot of things with scheduled streams. It just has what they've done and what's upcoming, but it's really hard to get that, so I'm not going to really deal with that right now. So I'm going to get back to the Shiny app, and we're going to probably uproot some of the stuff we did before with the iCal stuff and my custom server, and try, instead of supplying that, we're going to supply a data frame of the Twitch kind of streamers. And so I think what I've been prototyping up to this point in my prototyping folder is setting up a YAML file that has metadata or kind of the key information about the different streamers on the platform. So you can kind of see right now I've got Afton, this was in no particular order, folks. This is just as I was filling this out. But we got Afton, Tan, Jesse, myself, Mariah, Alyssa, Nick, of course. And then I did want an entry for a YouTube account from, in this case, D-Rob, when I get back to that point. But I want to kind of experiment with these names that have platform of Twitch and basically use like per with map to grab that metadata and with just their user ID, and then return like maybe a list of data frames or something with that info that we were getting from the R Markdown document. So maybe what we do now is we go back to the R Markdown document and let's try kind of wrapping all this stuff up, and then we'll move that to functions later on. So let's see. I'm gonna put this above this all ancillary stuff. Well, first let's experiment with let's obtain streamer file data. Okay. It's been a while since I parsed YAML directly in R. I know the config package does this with like special config files. But this is going to be a little different. So this is somewhere, if anybody in the chat's done some YAML parsing with R more directly, this will be a great chance to help me out. I'm going to Google some stuff. And we'll see what happens. I'm going to get my chunk set up, and let's start. I'm grabbing that. I'm going to define the path to it. Oh yeah, I don't get tab completing in this. That's kind of a downside of VS Code. I do get that in RStudio. So it's called streamers.yaml. I need to see if I have the YAML package. I believe I do. Well, if I can spell library right. Okay, so I'm gonna load that up here too. Now let's see. Excuse me. See if I can do anything with this. What functions does it give me? Well, that's not helpful. This is kind of a tour of VS Code stuff. It does have a help kind of area, much like RStudio does. And once you can go by package, we'll scroll down to YAML, and we'll kind of see what YAML gives us. Convert a YAML, read a YAML file. That's what we want. Okay, file. We don't need text. Okay, let's see what happens. This may be easy enough. Let's see YAML data. Yep, read YAML. All right, let's see what this gives us. Hopefully it works. Okay. YAML data is a list. Okay, that seemed to do it. So we've got a nested list. This would be just like if it had been JSON and we just imported the JSON as a list. So we can loop through each of these entries via something like per and map. And if they are on Twitch, then we kind of go with the API extraction fun. And if they're not, we just skip them for now. Okay, good question from Frank in the Frank RL in the chat. Do you find any advantages writing code on VS Code? So it's kind of like what I was talking about earlier. So far for me, it's still not quite feature parity of RStudio yet, but it's getting really close. And one thing that kind of amazed me is that even the RStudio add-ins that you might use in RStudio for like, and a lot of packages have these, but one of them is the Sheringan package for making slides in R Markdown. They have a cool add-in called Infinite Moon Reader, where it'll let you see the preview of the slides in like the viewer window, and every time you would update the file, it would automatically show the updates in the preview. That actually works in VS Code as well, and it was super fast, and it was just really fun to interact with. So I actually did, for my slides for Use R last week, I did them in Sheringan, and I developed them in VS Code. The first time I ever done a Sheringan slide deck in VS Code. And honestly, it worked great. It really did. I kind of like in VS Code the Markdown Previewer. It's just very fast. It's very fluid. I kind of like the way they organize the files on the left, and it's quite customizable. So again, it's not quite feature parity yet, but it's just with my container workflow, it just works really fast and pretty lightweight too. Like at work, our studio server is unfortunately on some not as performant machines, and it takes a while to get the project loaded and even to refresh the RM stuff. Whereas for this, it's just like a snap. It's just awesome. Yeah, I'll keep sharing tidbits as I get them, but I think we got the YAML data, so I want to practice a couple things with per first before I start looping to get the API stuff working in a loop here. So a lot of this is still kind of low level. Hopefully I can plug this into the app before we sign off tonight, but we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna experiment with this first. So we're gonna map. Now we actually just want the streamers slot, and then this is where I admit I'm not as good at this yet, but what I do in these cases, and anybody in the chat want to show me a better way, I'll be glad to see it, is when I know I have to like nest into a couple things in like the first entries of these areas, I tend to do like the kind of anonymous function syntax to do it. But if there's a better way, I am all for it. But I'll show you what I'm trying to do. What I want to do now is just extract the platform they're in. So what I do is I do this kind of more at work is I'll do the tilde and the squiggly to do an anonymous function here. So I just want to get, so the dot x, and then the entry I want is, I believe it's going to be platform. In fact, I may change this to a walk to start with, because I just want to print this to start with a message. And let's see if this works. Okay, let's try this. Okay, good. It did get him. So we got Twitch, YouTube. Okay, so that's good. So we can we're going to save that as a variable in here. And then we're going to do something with this. And we're going to say if platform. And I believe I did YouTube in all lowercase. If it's YouTube, we're not going to do anything. I'm just going to say do nothing for now. Else will just be the Twitch case. Now, I want to grab the user ID, because that is what we'll need for the Twitch stuff. So I'm going to say user ID. Do that .x notation. .x is like that slot of things you put in per. And we're going to say user ID. And then we're not going to do the iCal stuff. But what we will do is we'll start with the schedule. And then we will then do the videos. And then the followers. So let's copy the schedule stuff. And we will well, I'll annotate this a bit so future me can remember this. Grab schedule data. Oh yeah, you mean the list I'm about to make? Oh, you mean the YAML list? Yeah, I wonder. Actually, you know what? Let's give that a shot. Before we go too much further, let's see what happens if I just do YAML data $sign streamers. Given what we just saw earlier, let's see if this. Ooh, yeah, that didn't quite work. Or maybe I have to unnest it after that. This may be what you were trying earlier with. Yeah, exactly. This is where we need unnest wider. This actually, I'm glad we saw this now. This is where it could come to play. All right, let's see if this does what we want. Well, look at that. It did everything right. And in the categories was a nested list, so that we can unnest after that. Although I want to keep it nested for now because it's not really used at this point, but it will be. Wow, that makes things a lot easier. Oh, that's slick. Okay, so who needs all this per stuff right now? We'll do it we'll do a per thing, but we're gonna do it in mutate calls now. So that's slick. Thanks, Tan. That's next level stuff. So what I want to do now is we can make nested list columns of the 3 major bits: the schedule, the videos, and the follower stuff. Oh, true. Yeah, you're right. We should. Yep, good point. We should filter for the platform. Well, we can do that right here. Yep. And then when we make this better for YouTube, we'll take the filter out and we'll do some dynamic stuff based on that. But right now we'll just filter for Twitch. And now let's call it schedule data. And then now we'll loop through the user ID. Or yeah, user ID. Yep. And then this is where until actually, you know what? Since we're going to invoke this, let's make a function for it. Let me see, what do I want to get the, yeah, let's get the, it's a very easy function, but let's just make a function proper because we'll need it later. Twitch. Schedule. It's going to just need the user ID. Okay, here's one annoyance that you're about to see with VS Code is when I paste this, watch what happens. It's not quite tabbed correctly in some of the lines. Like the res2 should have been indented. It's got some squigglies here for whatever reason. Yeah, oh, not more than 80 characters. Okay, that's fine. Let's get rid of this for now. Okay, that's a little annoying. And then it's, so the linting's a little, there is a way to do it. There's some option in VS Code I have to pull, but I haven't done it yet, and have been too lazy to look it up. But the linting's a little aggressive, and I need to settle that down a little bit. So that's one downside that I haven't quite mastered yet. So this is where instead of user $sign ID, you just use your underscore ID. We'll just do the status. If not equal to 100, we'll stop. Problem. I'll clean this up later, but just get it in here for now. And then now we'll just say res is content parse, and res, and then we're good. So let's get Twitch schedule. Let's do the same thing with get Twitch videos. And that will simply be these two, because I do want that video ID for sure. Now, maybe what I want is for that function to maybe not return everything, but maybe it just returns a video ID. Well, we'll play that way. This in, yeah, fix the indentation. Videos, data, table. We probably don't need this, but we'll talk about it. Everything else can stay the same. And we'll return that. We'll do the followers later. These two are the main ones. So we got get Twitch schedule. I should call this, make it consistent. Twitch videos. Okay. What did I just call it? Get Twitch schedule. Yep. And then, oh yeah, it tends to show you the help of a function without you wanting it right away, so that's another little. Alright, videos, data, same thing. Alright, I think I have extra parentheses. It tends to do that a little bit. Okay, let's just save this as an object, and let's see if we got it. Oh, duh. Didn't run these functions yet. Do it. Oh, must have a problem. Did I not do that right? Broadcaster ID is user underscore ID. Okay, well, I don't know which user it was, so we're gonna, at least for now, we're going to print what, or send a message of current user. Yeah, I should. I'm gonna glue it up in a little bit. Yep, good catch. In fact, yeah, we should do that in the stop message. We don't need to do it twice. Yeah. If you're not using the glue package, good grief, you should. That would have been awesome. Alright, with user, just the template var there. In fact, we'll just keep it like that for now. And we'll run this again and we'll see if it happened to somebody in particular, if I messed up their handle or what. What? Okay. So now it's definitely something I messed up. Did I... Let me go back to what I called her handle. Oh, what am I doing? That's silly. You'll laugh at me. It's not the ID of the login. It's the... Yeah, exactly. That's it. Oh, gosh. Yeah. So... Duh. Okay, so we're gonna make another function, which user ID. I'll just call it get Twitch ID. That's what we do. This should be the user ID. The rest of them are gonna be just ID at that point. And honestly, actually, I don't. Well, I will make a. It's basically this, but I just need like one thing from it. So I am gonna. I mean, it's basically the function from twitchr. It's just going to be grabbing one thing from it. So if I go back to what users look like, or user look like, what's the name of that? It's just ID. Okay. Yeah, username. You're right. Yeah. Okay. Because future me will definitely get crazy about that. Okay, so let's... Okay, so we got that. We're going to do that. That's going to call this ID. This... Let me just make that a new line here. App CH. Well, I'll do a character just in case. User ID. Actually, yeah, we should. Well, in the data, yeah, I may change that in the data later. Get Twitch. Yep, ID. Okay, let's just run this first. Let's make sure that does the trick. Okay, streamer data. Let's. Uh-oh. It did it the same each one, so I must have screwed something up. Although, what did I do wrong? Now I'm a little confused here. Let me make sure that the user IDs are unique. They are unique. Why didn't... That should do it row-wise. I shouldn't have to group it, should I? That seems like a lot of work, but now I'm not sure. Oh, you're right, I didn't change it. No, I did. Username. Yeah, username. Okay. Let's be explicit with it. That must be something silly I'm doing. Did I hard code Afton? I mean, of course I did. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. That's a rookie mistake. Alright. Alright, you're right. I did. Yep. That was a good call. All in that debugging phase. Alright, this should do the trick. Yep. We got it now. Okay, so let's... Alright. Whoops. Option there. And this, it just becomes ID. You know, Tan, sometime we need to try this. This, for those that are asking about VS Code, one of the things I want to try is the live share feature. I actually did it with someone else on the Linux community I'm a part of, where he was doing some Python stuff. And I joked that, hey, you're doing VS Code, we should try the live share or something. He was like, well, let's do it now. And I'm like, okay. And I connected on his VS Code instance, and we were typing Python code together. It was rad. So at some point we're gonna try that on the live stream, because I don't think anybody's done that on our projects in VS Code on a live stream. So at some point, Tan, we're gonna do that. Let's run this and see what we got. That's a good sign. It's not bombing out, although did I miss a parenthesis? Uh-oh. Yeah, I got a problem. Yeah, this is gonna bork. Yep. I need to add another parenthesis here. No wonder I was doing that. Same thing here. Okay. This should do it. Okay, well, at least now we know where the problem is. Now, who is that user? Oh, yeah, we don't know who it is now. But what we should do is we will run this. We'll run it from before. Actually, what I'm going to do is until we finish debugging this, I'm going to separate out the different mutate calls, and then we'll put them back in one afterwards. That'd be easier. Okay. You know, I haven't done in VS Code, but I guess there's a first time for everything. Let's try it. Now, I will say the debugger in VS Code is a little clunkier than RStudio, so this will be interesting to see if it works. But whoops, don't do that. This will be interesting. Let's save this first while we're here. Okay. First, I just want to see who that ID was. That was 138. So, copy that. I think I'm treating it as a character. It didn't copy it? Ah. Try that again. There we go. Let's see if that was. Ha! It's Nick! Okay. Okay, well, we've got to figure out why. Now, the problem was in which it was in where we did this. Okay. This does remind me, I was having some stuff with Nick when I was exploring his schedule more hard-coded, but let's do that down here. Let's try that here. I wonder if it's the user ID being wrong. Well, that's the thing. I don't have a handler for no schedule because I assume everybody on Twitch has a schedule. But let's first just kind of see Well, we do, so I don't know if Nick's still watching, but you're the problem. Yeah, we'll find out. So now let's try it with here. And let's see what the status code. Yeah, okay, 404. Let's look at the user data. Let's see if I can get any more readings on this when looking at the data in more detail. I did remember something about this, and I kind of gave up, but I can't remember what. This is created in 2016, so there's got to be something about that schedule API. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, so you've already explored that endpoint, and it's got nothing there, which is very bizarre, because we know Nick definitely has a schedule. Now, what would be interesting, though, is can we get it from the iCal? Let's give that a try here. Oh, look at that. We can get it from the iCal. But let's see what the iCal looks like. Oh, wow, we did enter the debugger, didn't we? When did we... Oh, in first event. Oh. So even the iCal stuff has a problem. Okay. Let me see what happens when I enter this. I haven't done this in... Okay, we're in the browser now. Let's see what we have in here. Oh, because we're in with R. I shouldn't have done this frame. I should have done a different frame. Okay, let me bug out of this. Okay. Let's look at X first and see what that printed out as. Yeah, okay, that's a red herring. So even though the iCal stuff did show something, it's not nearly populated enough. You can see it's pretty empty here. So you're right, Tan. For whatever reason, in Twitch, Nick does not have a schedule, which kind of... That's really weird. Huh. That's kind of God, I hope he didn't cancel Slice. That's one of my highlights. Oh, gosh. There were some rumors that they were going to get bottled up by ESPN, but I'm not sure if that's founded or not. Well, I guess to Tan's point, we've got to have some error logic here. Huh. Yeah, I guess all us novices with Twitch, apparently, we all have our schedules, but Tan doesn't need it. I mean, not Tan, Nick doesn't need it. Okay, so... I guess I'm just gonna return a null, I guess? Oh yeah, I should not do it in the, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm silly, I should just do it in the if. I'm gonna do a message about it. I still want to print it out, but I'm not going to. I'm just gonna augment the message. Get rid of this stuff. Okay, and then we'll return null. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. I just need to change this to... Oh, you think we should do a warn instead of message. Okay. Alright, let's do that. Okay. I haven't done warnings as much. I should do that. So, okay, so that should... Alright. But the console output will be different, so that will get your attention more. So I like that idea. Okay, so this should fix it. And it will just get null for next entry here. Okay, let's give it a play. Oh, warning, you're right. It probably is, yeah. Yep, you're right. Yep. Because it wasn't... That's another thing. You gotta pay attention to the highlighting, because blue is for function calls, I believe. And so if it wasn't blue, you know, you kind of screwed up. So that was on me. All right. Let's see if that does the trick. So that's a warning that I should have a result here. So let's explore it. Streamer data. Let's do a glimpse first. Okay. Schedule data is a list. Although the format of it's a little odd. Did I not make it a data frame? I wonder if I just, yeah. I think I need to make this a data frame. So I think this res was a list. But let's take a look at it. The view function will give me that kind of that view of stuff. So let's data, visual data. We'll grab the first element of that. Yeah, it's just a list. So I need to. Guess what, Tan? I need to do the Tibble trick on this. And then we'll be in good shape. Okay, so let's go back to the schedule function. Like that. And this will be res just data. Let's just give this a play and see what happens. You know, I should just change this to ID while I'm here. It's not user ID in the traditional sense. It'll make it easier to remember. Same thing here. That should be it. Okay. Alright, let's run the... Whoops. My mouse is a little touchy. Run that. Refresh. Let's see if this works or not. Oh. Okay. Well, I was a little aggressive with that. I'm just gonna use my technique just through the browser in here, and then we'll explore this in the function call. Okay, we're here. One thing you won't get in VS Code like you do in RStudio is the object viewer is not going to be in sync with this browser view of it. It's going to think it's the old stuff. So you can't... There is a way to get into the debugger properly, but I haven't figured that out yet. And so it doesn't highlight the text where you're at. So that is one disadvantage at the moment. So let's see what... Well, that's weird. Res data is here. Why would that not? Oh, because I pipe. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I don't know why. Oh, that's annoying. Just be silly with this. Okay. Oh yeah, thanks, the Cedar Prince. Yeah, we've been. I've seen you on a few streams of the streamers out there. So thanks for joining live. Yeah, much appreciated. Oh yeah, the pluck function. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, I haven't had good luck with it, probably because I'm not using it right. So let's pluck data, and then we'll tibble that stuff. Yeah, let's see. All right, let's give it a play. Hey, I think we got it. Let's take a look at it. Oh, we have to do the pivot wider stuff. Yep. Or unnest wider. I keep saying pivot wider here. Unnest wider. That is one of the coolest tricks. I did not know about this before, so I'm going to be playing with this later in the week. What the heck happened there? Uh-oh. Looks like it's not white. It's not going to quite be that pretty, I guess. So yeah, Cedar Prince, what are we working on? So I have a cool project that I'm working on for Shiny, which is of course the package to make web apps with R. Where now that we have quite a few people online and Twitch doing a lot of R and data science content, I wanted like a nice way to show like a cool calendar online and let people kind of get information and see who's doing what without having to hunt it down in Twitch directly. So we're doing kind of the back end of this to see what happens, but we're doing some low level stuff with the Twitch API tonight, and we're gonna plug that into the app once we kind of get it working. So apparently I've underestimated the complexity of this, but we're gonna just see what this looked like first, and then let me just run this part a bit. Oh gosh, don't do this. Stop. How do I just 0? Okay. Get back here. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's try this. Okay. Res is here. Res is a 5 rows and 1 column. That's a schedule for this particular user. So let's just try unnesting it first. Yep. So tidyr unnest. Let's try it. Okay. Yeah, 10. I will. Well, let's see what the error is. Can't combine list and a character. So it's definitely a data thing. Must be a data thing. So let's just get out of this. Well, nothing's super easy. Let me, I'm not sure why my audio on the stream is cutting out for the music, but hopefully that's a glitch. So there must be something here that's kind of not easy to unnest. So I might need to, I might not convert this to Tibble right away. I might have to do some purge stuff just on this thing more properly to get to the bottom of it. Yeah, I don't know why my streaming service is getting flaky tonight. Let's just pluck the data and we're just going to return that for now. Then we'll kind of go from there. Alright, save that out. that. If this keeps up, I'll have to switch to another streaming music service that I have my eye on that my other friends do. Okay. Let's just wrap this now. Yeah, okay. So it should give us what we want. So the schedule data is going to look horrific in this layout, but we'll clean it up in a little bit. Yeah, the video data is going to look, it's a list column, so that's going to look crazy. I guess I need to narrow down what I want from the streaming schedule stuff, and then make like a little data frame of that information. And there were a few key points I wanted. And so maybe what we do is we explore that function, the output of that from my ad hoc examples. And then we'll go from there. What did I call that? I forgot what I called it. I called a user ID in there. Oh crap, I just closed the file, didn't I? Oh, I love that. Let me get it back. Where's my file pane? Hopefully it didn't lose all my stuff. Okay, yeah, I'm back in business. Ooh, that was scary. Okay. Let me get Afton back. We'll put that back and then we'll explore that again. Whoops. Oh, I must have. There we go. Okay, let's view res 2 and see what we need from this. So, segments is the thing we really want. So that's a good point, Cedar Prince. Right now, I've been watching mostly R streamers, but I have no issue adding other general data science streamers. I just need to know who they are because I use their ID from Twitch to kind of drive all this. So the thing I need to think about for probably a future topic is a way for anybody in the community to kind of add either their self or someone else on Twitch that they think should be part of this calendar, and then it becomes part of this pipeline to scrape all this maybe every day or every few hours or whatever, and then the app will be automatically refreshed to show everybody. Yep, and check out yeah, Tan's got the great link to Jesse's blog post on rounding up all the data science streamers, and she's going to keep updating that. And I'm going to be using that list more to grab other streamer IDs as well. Okay, so this is helpful. I want a pluck. I don't need this stuff, at least for now. I just need the segments thing. I just need that. Okay. So this is actually good. We can actually go back to our utility function and start grabbing it here. Does pluck let you go too deep or not? Or should I do pluck again with You'll see what I mean. Like, should I just do pluck again with segments? I guess we'll find out when we get to the browser again. There may be a better way, but yeah, definitely. If you have recommendations, I'll put a link to the repo before I sign off here, and then you can add an issue on the tracker for anybody else you want on there, and I'll start. Oh, I think I know what you mean. I think we can do something like this. Maybe? Guess we'll find out. Let's just give this a whirl and see. Afton, welcome. Hope you're doing well. We've been talking about you, but in good ways, of course. You've been one of my test cases for the Twitch API, grabbing some schedule metadata. So you're already famous enough, but I'm making you more famous, I guess. So let's try running that again. Let's get back to my map here. All right, should be in the browser now. Okay, so your ID is the first up, so your data is coming right now. So let's see if this works. Rats. Okay. Index 1 must have link 1 out 2. So that doesn't work. No, I didn't mean that. Wait. Let's we'll just pluck it. We'll do it repeatedly like I did the first time. I'm sure there's a better way, but oh, maybe we can do, oh, you're saying we can just do, oh, what did I just call that? I need to unmute that for a second. Oh, data and then segments. Yeah, let's give it a shot. Why not? Oh, I think that worked. Let's take a look. Let's view it. Yes, that was it. I just didn't need the vectorized stuff around it. Okay, so good. We're getting somewhere. So we can do something with this. So what I want from here is the ID or the title, the start time and the end time. We may do categories later, but is recurring is important. So I think I want 4 things from this. Now I wonder if this will work if we do a tipple of this. Let's see. And then let's just experiment with this. We'll do an unnesting of this. Was it cows or cows? Yeah, cows. Okay. Let's just call this res. Okay, let's see what happens. What? I have to do it again? Oh. Oh, maybe I know why, because I did res. Bad name. Let's see if this does. No, that's weird. Yep, let's do the wider. Yeah, maybe the wider is meant for cases like this. And we'll do the one trick and see if that does it. Yeah. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Okay, awesome, awesome. That is very cool. And then from here, we're going to grab just the columns we need. Tidyr on this wider. That's the trick tonight. If we learn nothing else, we know the trick of a nice wider. I'm gonna just take that first column. Yeah, yes, it seems like magic to me, but that's slick. Okay, so what I want is start time, end time, title, return. Then we're going to return that out. This is a tidy data. Let's see. Looking good. Start time, end time, title is recurring. Yep, that is what I want. So I think we've solved it. Let's get out of this. And we'll try running it again. Oh, did I not? Oh, I didn't take out the browser. Nah, silly me. Yeah. Happens to me all the time at work. All right. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, the warning's there, and often the funny thing about all this is that the one person in this call that of the different streamers I've assembled that doesn't have a schedule in the API is Nick. Go figure. Still haven't figured that out. Okay, let's look at let's glimpse this. Yes, that's what I'm looking for. A tibble, each with at least 4 columns. And that is what we will use for the calendar part. The video data will be nice to have for later, but at the minimum, we want to build the calendar from that information. Yeah, so that was, I think you're right, Afton. I think he just hops on and he doesn't do like a formal schedule of it, which frankly is just as well. It just means that I don't have an automatic way to get the stuff on, but that's okay. Let me see. So I basically want to, I'm not going to stay too much longer, but what I want to do is I want to grab these functions and put them kind of a little more robust fashion and put them into the app's kind of back-end function stuff. And then we're going to make sure we run this, at least for now, on the app startup. And then we'll pass that on to the rest of the app. So let's see what I have here. Got a lot of files in this repo here. So I think it can go here. Yeah, this is where I had all the iCal stuff from a few weeks ago. We're just going to add on to this. I may separate them out later, but let's do that. I won't document them in great detail for now, but I will later. Okay, so let's just copy them in, and then we will kind of go from there. All right, so VS Code doesn't have a great way to kind of do the function documentation in that slick way like RStudio does, where you just like do like insert our oxygen skeleton, and it just kind of puts them all there. And then it just kind of, all right, we want import from twitchr, get users. It does tab complete the tags at least, so that's cool. Okay, so that's that. And then here, I'll be a little... Let's see what I do here. Just gonna prefix this one. So I'm prefixing almost everything anyway. Probably overkill. So let's do the same thing here. In fact, I don't need to import anything. I called it all directly. Yeah, Nick said he wasn't feeling well. Usually he's on before I start, but he's not feeling well. And I know how that goes because I was still not 100% either. So that one's good. This one, I may just be lazy here. Get videos. Stringer, yeah, that's all. That's all legit. Okay, so we got that in here. Then the code that we did to get the streamer data, we will plug that into the app server. This is what we were doing before, but we're gonna do something different. Now the app's gonna kind of break for sure after what's the keyboard shortcut for comments? Control and / or whatever. Yep. Oh, we need to import the YAML data first, almost forgot. Where did I do that? Over here. This is more for the next time. We'll flesh this out a bit more. I just want to get it in here so that we're ready for it. All the indentation and stuff, that's not good. Okay. And then this will be putting streamer data here. Okay. That may be where I leave it off. I know the app's gonna break horrifically, but that's... Yeah, you can see what I was trying to do with the Twitch embedded video stuff, which we'll probably get to next time. I just want to see where I do the schedules. Yeah, so this is where we're gonna do some stuff for next time. Kind of to do here. Change this to use the streamer video. Okay. Getting late here, so I'm probably gonna kind of put a bow on this for tonight. But the good news is that we have successfully mined the Twitch API for the scheduled data for those that have it in the API. Their other metadata, the video metadata, and then next time we really plug it into the app. I thought I could get it all done tonight, but we've had some adventures with the JSON parsing. But before I go, for those that want to help me out with kind of keeping straight what I'm working on here. Sorry, I'm getting my browser back in order here. We had a fun poll, I think, the other day about tabs in your browser. So let me get the desktop view here. So the repo is at my GitHub account of our podcast, and then shinycal, I'm calling it. I'll put the link here in the chat here. And so if you have ideas for who else should be included or other things that you think I should think about for the schedule display, definitely add an issue, and I will look at that and take that into the development for next time. So that is again at my GitHub account, our podcast /shinycal. Not much in here right now, so you won't be able to run it from your setup, because it does have to deal with API keys that I haven't explained fully how to set those up yet. But at the very least, that's where I'm gonna track my notes. And in fact, this issue here is what we're working on right now, is getting the metadata for displaying the app, and that's what this stream's been about. So I think we're much closer to closing it. We just have to plug it into the app properly. Well, I think that is gonna do it for me. I have I was hoping to do more, but because my day was so crazy, I didn't have a chance to really think about this much until I literally turned the camera on and started coding again. But I think next time we'll definitely make more progress. And in the meantime, if you're new to this, I try to do this once a week. Sometimes that life gets in the way, but usually on Wednesday nights. And oh yeah, thanks. The background is actually from a... I'll give you the full story of the background. I was fortunate that Curtis from our studio had sent me a hex blanket. So it's a blanket with all the our studio package hex stickers on. So I put it on the floor once and took a picture of it, and then just put it as a background of my OBS setup. So I get comments about that whenever I do it in other places, and that tends to be a hit. So I love doing cool stuff with swag. Hoping to get more swag later from the Shiny contest stuff, because apparently the judges are going to get some swag too, not just the winners. So got some stuff coming in the mail. Yeah. So I think that's going to do it for me. If you want to see the past videos, let me give a quick plug to the YouTube channel. Let's go back there for a second. That is... Sorry, my buttons are to Shiny Developer Series. I'll put this in the chat. This is where you'll see all of my videos from interviews of those in the Shiny community. And then what I've done lately is that I have a playlist set up where you see all the previous live streams, which I don't want to play here, obviously. Let me go back. You'll see the list right here. So it started with my setup of VS Code, if you want to see how I did that. And then literally all the shinycal stuff. And I also added the stuff I did for the Shiny contest too, the racing car picker and the dashboard. And yeah, so I'll keep adding to this after the streams are done, and then that way you can watch them on demand and they won't be all deleted. I'll keep those on as well. So, well, that is going to do it for me. And so we want to thank you all for tuning in, and we'll try to do some more next time. And certainly give me a shout on Twitter if you want to get in touch or have ideas of things in Shiny you want me to explore. I definitely have more to do than just the calendar stuff. I want to do like some cool stuff with deployments and HPC stuff with Shiny. So certainly send your suggestions my way, and I'll be glad to take a look at that. All right, see you all later. Bye for now. Take care, and happy Shiny development or R data science fun. See ya.